Sheree, take them in there. Good. Come.
Right. The water, everybody, coming out. Pray everybody had a blessed day of rest, starting with the Shabbat. And all praises to everybody that endured, right, through the Day of Atonement and labor and faith and kept it in faith, right? And understanding what the Day of Atonement was is afflicting your flesh, your spirit, right, mentally, physically, and also spiritually. First and foremost, want to give all praise and glory to the Most High Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son. It's your brother Nasi,
Brother Shamariah,
Brother Tasi.
right? And we're coming at you with a Shabbat lesson, right? Going over holy discipline, right? And what it takes and where to draw that strength from, right? And what it means to be disciplined, right? That's the key word of disciple, right? In order to be a disciple, you got to have discipline, right? You got to be able to refrain from certain things and be able to cast down certain things too as well, right? You got anything else?
Shabbat Shalom to the tribes scattered abroad. Again, this brother Shamariah, we're coming at you with this holy discipline, closing out this holy day that we did, the Day of Atonement. We had a beautiful convocation at the end. We were able to enjoy each other, enjoy our time, and just talk about our endurance and how we lifted up the name of the Most High. Again, we're going to be opening up with this lesson, give a few minutes for a few people to chime in. It's going to be holy discipline.
Kick it off. Let me ask you something.
Or you get
Let's keep this thing off your screen.
We're going to open up in the book of Sirach, chapter 32. Brother Clarice. Gonna be Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 32, starting at verse 14.
I bring it out. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 32, and verse 14. And it reads, "Whoso feareth the Lord will receive his discipline."
Receive his what?
Will receive his discipline.
Okay.
"And they that seek him early shall find favor."
Right? Because the Most High, when you come back to the Most High, you have to serve him in spirit and in truth, right? And we have been taught to do the direct opposite. So coming back to him, you have to receive correction and his discipline, right? In order to walk circumspect. Go ahead.
Verse 15. He that seeketh the law shall be filled therewith, but the hypocrite will be offended thereat.
Right? So when you're dealing with the law, the commandments, and the statutes, and the truth, it's going to be a lot of things if you worldly that don't agree with your spirit, right? So you either going to accept correction, right? Or it's going to cause you to scoff. It's going to cause you to go off, right? It's going to cause you to be the opposition, right, of the word. It's going to put you in that position to either change, repent, or you're going to be combative, right? Go ahead, King.
In verse 16. They that fear the Lord shall find judgment.
They that what?
They that fear the Lord shall find judgment.
Hey, you shall find judgment. Even though they fear the Lord, they're going to still find judgment. Right? Go ahead.
And shall kindle justice as a light.
Right. And it shall kindle justice as a light. Because that correction, that judgment is going to build you up in order to be a light for your people. Right? Next precept is going to be Isaiah 55 and 6.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 55. Picking up at verse 6. And it reads,
Come and read the 7.
See ye the Lord while he may be found.
So like, let's start back from the top.
Seek ye the Lord while he may be found.
Right? Seek the Lord while he may be found. It says in the end time, wit is going to hide itself. Right? And the stability will be the wisdom will be the stability of the times. So if you don't have that wisdom during these times, it's going to be hard for you, right? Seek the Lord while he may be found, because in these end times, in Jacob's trouble, again, the Most High is going to remove himself, right? Go ahead.
Call ye upon him while he is near.
While he is what?
While he is near.
While we have the opportunity to go on YouTube, go into the Word, right? Build with your brethren, congregate. You got to join yourself unto men, holy men, right? It says, wear out their doorposts in Sirach, right? So these are the things you have to do in the time that you can, because there's a time coming where we're not going to be able to just go on YouTube, walk next door, pick up the phone, and call our brethren to get an understanding, right? Go ahead.
Verse 7, let the wicked forsake his way.
Let him what?
Let the wicked forsake his way. And he that unrighteous man.
And go ahead.
And the unrighteous man his thoughts.
Right. So you got to forsake your way and your thoughts, right? Because your thoughts will lead you astray, right? As well as your ways, right? We've been going off for years, right? Even generations. It's about time that we forsake our ways, bro, and try the Most High, right? Go ahead.
And let him return unto the Lord.
Return unto who?
Return unto the Lord.
Right, because we know the way of correction, the way of life, right, is with the Most High. However, we choose to follow after the flesh, right? It says in Baruch, it was your mind to go astray, right? So making that conscious choice to go out for the Most High, it's high time for us to understand what we've been doing as far as going off, confess our sins, right? And then come back to the Most High making supplication, right? Go ahead.
And he will have mercy upon him.
He will what?
And he will have mercy upon him.
Go ahead.
So like, I got a quick precept.
Go ahead.
Just to expound on what Ak was just talking about, as far as how wisdom will hide itself, right? And then I just brought out in Isaiah 55, right? How it says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Right? While
he may be found. That's right.
Right. So this is the book of Hosea, chapter 5 and 15. Hosea chapter 5 and 15. It says, I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offenses and seek my face.
Right.
And in their affliction, they will seek me early. Right. So when we start going through these trials and tribulations and these stumbling blocks, these snares, we need to seek the Most High now in these times when these trials are approaching us. Because it's going to be a time, as it just said in Isaiah, that the Most High is going to return to his place. Right, he's not going to be dealing with us no more. Right, the 2/3 will be cut off. Right, but that was just a quick precept. That was Hosea 5 and 15. You continue on with that one.
Pick it back up at Isaiah 55 and verse 7, starting back at the top. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him.
Right.
And to our God, for he will abundantly pardon.
Right. To give another precept, let me back in on the point the brother was bringing out. This is going to be 2nd Esdras chapter 5. 2nd Esdras chapter 5, starting at verse 8. And it reads, Either one of you brothers can expound.
Okay.
And it reads, there shall be a confusion also in many places,
Right.
and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
Right, it's gonna be all hell's gonna break loose in these times, right? And people gonna be looking for wisdom, right? Beasts gonna be in the field. The water shall bring forth sweet. It's gonna the waters is gonna mix, right? Go ahead.
And salt water shall be found in the sweet.
Salt water will be found in the sweet. I don't know if you've seen the Atlantic and what's that, the Pacific? How they when you look at them, they don't mix. Right? The Most High set boundaries up. Even the water is disciplined.
Right.
So in these times, though, hey, all hell's gonna be breaking loose. Go ahead, King.
And our friends shall destroy one another.
Right? You're gonna have backbiting, envying, malice, contention. Go ahead.
Then shall wit hide itself.
Then shall wit, aka wisdom, right? Knowledge and understanding is gonna hide itself, right? Because you weren't taking heed to it when it was there. Right, when the brother was on the corner, when the videos was coming out, right, when the brother at work, you know, he telling you that, hey, brother, put down the pork, right? You don't want to listen to this brother.
That's right.
Right? Then you'll be like, well, man, what did that brother at, man? I need to hear some precepts. Hey, it's over for you, man. Wisdom has hid itself. Go ahead.
Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into its secret chamber. And shall be sought of many, yet not be found.
It's going to be sought of many, but it's not going to be found. It's going to be a sad day. Everybody's going to be vexed, man.
That's why it says in Isaiah, seek the Lord while he may be found.
Right.
There's going to come a period of time where you're not going to be able to find him.
Right.
Then shall unrighteousness and inconsistency be multiplied upon the earth. One land also shall ask another and say,
what's it going to say?
Is righteousness that make a man righteous gone through thee?
Right, man. Y'all see righteousness over there? Because we ain't got it over here. Right, land to other lands is going to be looking for wisdom, knowledge, understanding, man. That's bad, man.
And it's going to be going from land to land because it's not going to be in their land. You got to go to a whole new land, new city, new continent, right? To try and find this wisdom and understanding. Puts me in the mind of the movie, the Book of Eli. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like they were searching up and down the globe looking for this book, and it was with this man that had understanding, which had hid itself, right? You know what I'm saying? And they went out seeking for it.
What did he say? He said, "And it's just a book. It's not a book,
right?
It's a weapon,
right?
And that's the understanding." Right. That we need to have to come out of these trials and tribulations. It's a weapon, man. When we hold this thing according to how we're supposed to be holding it and wielding it like we're supposed to be wielding it.
Right. To wear a sword.
Right. It can be our discipline. Right.
And it shall it's righteousness that maketh the man righteous gone through thee. And it shall say la'ah. At the same time shall man hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper.
All praise. Good precept, Bob. That was a second Esdras. Chapter 5, 9 through 12, right? Back into Isaiah.
That's it on Isaiah.
Next precept gonna be Sirach 41 and 14.
Shalom. Mashiach on the scene. Shalom.
Mashiach, Shalom. Sirach 41 and 14.
Let's look at Sirach chapter 41, starting in verse 15.
14.
14. So
I just want 14.
Okay. My children, keep discipline and peace.
My what?
My children.
Children of the Most High. Right. Go ahead.
Keep discipline and peace.
Keep discipline and peace. Right. Staying disciplined will allow you to stay in your peace. Right. Go ahead.
For wisdom that is hid.
Wisdom what?
For wisdom that is hid.
Like we were just referring to, but wisdom that'll be hid. What is it like?
And the treasure that is not seen.
Right.
What profit is them both?
Right. Keep going. Read the next piece.
Verse 15. A man that hideth his foolishness,
right,
is better than a man that hideth his wisdom.
Right. So right now, where wisdom is able to be seen, we're supposed to be spewing this wisdom, right? Giving it to whoever we can, right? Making sure everybody gets an understanding that's seeking understanding. And some that ain't seeking. You just got to get this word, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's what profit is it for you to have the wisdom and not share it? Right? What benefit is it to have treasures or some type of way to benefit your brethren and not assist, not lend a hand, whether it be spiritual or whatever the case may be, right? In this verse, we know it's talking about the treasures of the mind, right? Like it says in what is that, Matthew
6.
Matthew 6.
Con.
There's a parable, rule that you used to bring out.
Mhm.
You said we only come on this earth to do two things:
Con,
learn and teach.
con,
If
con,
you hiding that wisdom, when you doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're
con,
not teaching.
con. Hallelujah. You getting it?
No, I was looking for something else. But,
Con. Next precept, you
go
got
ahead,
it.
go ahead. No, you good.
Next precept is going to be Sirach 20 and 30.
Con, I'll bring it out. The book of
Sirach
Sirach.
20 and 30.
Got that precept here too. You want to grab that Matthew 6,
Con.
and 19?
Yes, sir.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 20, verse 30. Wisdom that is hid and treasure that is hoarded up, what profit is them both? Like, what's the point of you storing up all these earthly treasures, right? And not doing anything with it? You're just hoarding it up. Ever seen hoarders, man? It's just
It's a horrible thing to see.
It's a horrible thing to see because you have now hoarded up something that could have been beneficial for somebody else, right? And that's wisdom.
That's gluttony. That's spiritual gluttony too.
Wisdom that is hid and treasure that is hoarded up, what profit is in them both? Better is he that hideth his folly,
right,
than a man that hideth his wisdom.
Hey, it's better for you to mask. It says, when a man holdeth his tongue, that shall be his wisdom. Right. So if you got foolishness on the mind, foolishness on the spirit, it's better that you hold your peace. Right. It's better that you hide that foolishness than to hide your wisdom and be able to benefit not only yourself but your brethren. Right. Go ahead. Go to 32.
Necessary patience is seeking the Most High.
It is what?
Necessary patience is seeking the Most High.
Right.
It's better than he that ladeth his life without a God.
Hey, taking patience and taking the time out to find the Most High and understand who he is so that you may receive his blessings ultimately, but receive his correction and judgment so that you may walk circumspect. It's better than spending your whole life wandering the globe, going to and fro without no guidance, right? Not knowing where you're going, never knowing or understanding the path of righteousness, right? You holding that? All right.
This is Matthew chapter 6, starting at verse 19.
Go ahead.
It says, lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth, where the moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal.
You got it, King.
Because you understand that that's when you're doing that. Yes, are we supposed to store up our treasures? We're saying that in Psalms and Proverbs 11 it says you have to have a balance.
Right. Proverbs 11 and 1.
Right. So when you understand it, do we have to dwell here? Yes. Is this the land of our rest? So don't continue to store up these things, knowing the end game.
Right.
Right. This place is going to be destroyed. So understand that what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna store up my earthly treasures to benefit me and on my spiritual bag. So I'm gonna get my earthly bag, right, and use that earthly bag to store up my spiritual bag. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna use it as I was in the world. I was using my bag for paganistic customs, right? So now I'm gonna use my bag to store up for the Feast of Tabs, right? We're going all out on the high holy days and the holy days. That's storing up your treasure.
I mean, that word treasure and wisdom go hand in hand. When you read verse 30, it says wisdom that is hid and treasure that is in Ecclesiastes and Sirach we just came from, and treasure that is hid, what profit it's in them both. Right. So when we read the verse 19 in chapter 6 in Matthew, lay not up for yourself treasure. We can put that word treasure and substitute it for wisdom upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt. Because I heard somebody say this, saying it's another parable, but the wealthiest place is the graveyard. Because they hid their wisdom and never used it, or their gifts and talents. Right. So just like you were saying, bro, you know, this treasure that we have is only supposed to be given to the Most High. The wisdom that we have, some people use their wisdom and give it to vain glory. Yeah, vain glory. We're supposed to do the same thing with the treasure and wisdom. They go hand in hand. You can't have one without nothing. They go both hand in hand.
Got a precept. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. I'll start at verse 13. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 13.
Go ahead.
And it reads, I learned diligently and do communicate her liberally. I do not hide her riches, for she is a treasure unto men.
She is a what?
She is a treasure unto men.
Man, when you really understand what wisdom can do to you, right? What the law can do for you,
That's right.
It can make wise and simple, man. Right? That's a beautiful thing. How you know you used to be off, and now you start valuing
What you said?
yourself.
Somebody get the Psalms 119.
Psalm 19:7.
For she is a treasure unto men that never faileth, which they that use become the friends of Yahweh.
Becomes a what?
The friends of Yahweh.
Exactly. So us as Israelites, the church that we have, we should be using unto Yahweh, right? And that alone, of course, we're gonna gain favor. You know what I'm saying? Just like the five talents. There was, one guy who didn't use his treasure or his wisdom, so to speak, right? And the other 4 did. And he was blessed by the Most High.
Being commended for the gifts that come from learning, God hath granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given me, because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom.
Is what?
It is he that leadeth unto wisdom.
Right? That's why the Most High says wisdom of this world is foolishness to me.
That's right.
Right? And he can take you in your own craftiness. This is the wisdom that he wants you to have. Right. This is the treasure that he wants you to store up. Right? Go ahead.
And directed the wise. Go ahead, King.
Go back. Read what you said. Is he that give what?
Salakia. Because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom.
It's a precept, real quick. Deuteronomy 8:18. It says, "But thou shalt remember that the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth the power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant which he swore unto thy fathers, as it is this day."
Finishing out, last verse, 16. For in his hands are both we and our words, our wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship.
Right, so he put all of that in his hands, because including us, including Israel, right? That's it on that.
That's a good precept. I know it's 18:8. Deuteronomy. You holding
8:18?
No, I got that. We can keep it
Next precept.
Next precept gonna be Sirach 39. Sirach 39. Reading verse 1, and then jumping down to 5.
It's the book of Sirach.
Salakia, read through 8. It's a meeting there.
Chapter 39, verse 1. But he that
1 Samuel 2 and 6.
But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof.
In the what?
In the meditation thereof.
Hey, you gotta meditate on these precepts, right? You can't just read them for face value. You skimming through the word. You remembering precepts, but not fully understanding them, not knowing how to apply them to your life, right? Because ultimately, that's what it's about. We say all the time, knowledge is knowing. Wisdom is applying what you know, right? Go ahead, King.
But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in meditation thereof,
that's right,
will seek out the wisdom.
He will do what?
He will seek out the wisdom,
while it may be found. Go ahead.
Of all the ancients.
That's right.
And that's what we're going into. We're going into the book of Sirach. We're going into the book of Amos, Joel, Isaiah. These are the men of the ancients right here, right? And be occupied in prophecies.
In what?
In prophecies.
Precept. It's a quick precept, right? This is Psalms 119, and I'm gonna start at 97. Oh, how I love thy law. It is my meditation all the day. Though through thy commandments has made me wiser than mine enemies.
It's made you what?
Wiser than my enemies.
Right, by having this understanding and knowing that this thing is a continual, perpetual cycle that's been going on for. So now we got to get into the stories. We got to get into the testimonies. We got to get into the prophecies so that we can apply these things and see how our forefathers moved, so that we can have discipline now in these times to move circumspect and be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Go ahead,
For they are ever with me. I have more understanding than all my teachers.
Right.
For thy testimonies, what you said a while ago, we got to get into the what?
Got to get into the testimonies.
For thy testimonies are my meditation. I understand more than the ancients, as it said over here in Sirach, because I keep thy precepts. Right.
That's discipline, though, man. Even when you, it's just discipline. It's sure discipline, man. There's no other way around that. Back into Sirach 39. We're at verse 2. We're going to read through 8. This is verse 2 in Sirach 39. He will keep the saying.
He will what?
He will keep the saying of the renowned men.
Right.
And where subtle parables are, he will be there also. Man, I'm trying to figure out what this parable. Hey, you see, there's some more meat on that, huh? And so we got to understand there's always something that we can continue to there's not a place of what I'm saying. We need to be trying to breach the plateau, right? It's a continual, it's a complacency. That's what I wanted to say. We can never be complacent in this thing, right? It's always a continual growth that we need to have. He will keep the saying of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. He will seek out the secrets.
The what?
He will seek out the secrets,
right,
of the grave sentences, and be conversant in dark parables.
Hey man, when you come into this truth and you receive the milk, right? You dealing with chicken nuggets. Don't be afraid to jump into the deep dark sayings, right? I want to know what this is. I got to figure this out, right? I got to go precept on precept. Let me see what this is brought out again. Let me see if this breakdown brings out what this was talking about, or this prophet can expound on what he was talking about. You got to, like the brother Nyquam said, you got to get nasty with the scriptures, bro. You got to get in there, dive from chapter to chapter, book to book, right? To get a deeper understanding, right? Go ahead.
Verse 4, he shall serve among great men.
He shall what?
Serve among great men.
Right.
And appear before princes.
Right.
He will travel through strange countries. For he hath tried the good and the evil among men.
Right.
Verse 5, he will give his heart to resort early to the Most High that made him, and will pray before the Most High, and will open his mouth in prayer and make supplication for his sins.
Just as we did on the Day of Atonement, right? Coming out of the Day of Atonement, we were all in prayer, we were all in fasting, right? We dwelled in the scriptures, right? And we were making supplication on our behalf as well as for the nation. Go ahead.
Verse 6, when the great Lord he shall be filled with the Spirit.
The what?
Filled with the Spirit
of
understanding.
Right.
He shall pour out wise sentences and give thanks unto the Most High in his prayer. He shall direct his counsel in knowledge, and his secrets shall he meditate.
Right. In his secrets, right? In the precepts, right? The stuff that your average Christian or pastor or even just Israelite, period, won't understand. Right? It's certain things that the Most High can open up your mind to, give you revelations on that the average person will not understand, right? So when you dwell on these secrets and you meditate on these secrets, he'll reveal even more to you, right? Go ahead, King.
Verse 8 in closing. He shall shew forth that which he hath learned, and shall glory in the law of the covenant of the Most High. Right, so when you take these things, it should show on the not only on the inside but on the outside. Right, that's discipline. Being able to carry yourself according to what you have just retained. Right, just like that James 1:22 talks about beholding yourself in the mirror. You can't just go look at yourself and say that you're an Israelite. Right, and I'm gonna keep these laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of my ability. And as soon as you leave, you done forgot yourself. That's no discipline. Right?
Bring out that precept, King.
Book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2. We're going to start at verse 9. Just a real quick precept. And it reads, he will keep the feet of his saints.
That's right, because their wisdom is going to be a lamp unto your feet, unto your path. So you're going to have a understanding of how to walk upright, right? How to stay on the path of righteousness. Go ahead.
And the wicked shall be silent.
They shall be what?
And the wicked shall be silent. And darkness.
It's a precept that says we can do nothing against the truth, but only for it, right? The wicked are going to be silent. There's nothing they can say really to scoff against this truth, right? They're going to try, right? It's their lot. It's a lot that they fell into. They're going to try, but at the end of the day, there's nothing that they can really bring out to cut this truth. Go ahead.
That's right. For by strength shall no man prevail.
By what?
For by strength shall no man prevail.
It's all of the flesh. They're fleshly. They're not going to prevail with that. It's our spirit that we're dealing with on this side when we're dealing with the spirit of truth and the spirit of understanding, as it said in verse 6, right? Go ahead.
That's it on that.
Next precept is going to be Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 12.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 12.
Bring it out, King.
Chapter 6 and verse 12. Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away.
Mhm.
Yea, she is easily seen of them that love her.
She is what?
Easily seen of them that love her.
Hey, when you come into this truth, for a lot of people, I've heard this testimony a lot of times. I've been in church for years. When I started reading this truth, it made perfect sense, right? You know what I'm saying? What did it just say? She is
Easily seen of them.
It was easy for them to see it. The wisdom made so much sense. Go ahead.
That and never fadeth away. Yet she is easily seen of them that love her,
Right.
and found of such as seek her.
That's right.
Verse 13.
Read through 20.
She prevented them that desire her,
Mm-hmm.
and in making herself first known unto them. Whoso seeketh her early.
Who what?
Whoso seeketh her early.
As I just said in the previous precept, right? Seek the Most High early, right? Go ahead.
Shall have no great travail.
Right? And we being a generation that I can't speak for everybody here. Some of these brothers are still kind of young, you know what I'm saying? But the both of us learned this truth later in our life, right? And it is our goals to teach our children early what we learn late, right? We have to pour this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to each of them so they won't have the great travail that we had in the world.
Which is a beautiful thing to see young ox here today, because I remember being in Christianity,
Mm-hmm.
and at church it was nothing but old heads there. And I didn't think the Most High had any dealings with young people. So I used to say, I'm gonna wait till I get old to get serious with God.
Because that's what you seen.
Right.
Verse 14. Whoso seeketh her early shall have no great travail.
That's right.
For he shall find her sitting at his doors.
Right.
To think, therefore, upon her in perfection of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her.
Read that again.
For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her.
Hey, another precept said wisdom cried out in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So she's out seeking those that are worthy, right? Mm-hmm. Brothers are on the corner. They bringing out the word. Not everybody stops, right? Because they can't comprehend the wisdom. It's just too high for them, right? Go ahead.
She sheweth herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought. Verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline.
The what?
For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline.
You have to desire the discipline, desire the correction, desire to walk circumspect. Coming from a world and a place where everything is do as thou will,
right.
There's not really a lot of discipline.
No structure.
No structure. You can move how you want to move. You have to desire the correction. This can't be right. I've been doing it on my own for years, bro, and I'm still on this hamster wheel, right? You know what I'm saying? So you have to desire the correction for the Most High to set you among princes, among solid ground, a solid foundation to walk circumspect. Go ahead.
And the care of discipline is love.
Is what?
And the care of discipline is love.
And we all know that love is keeping the commandments.
Mm-hmm.
The lammy backs right back on discipline, right? Go ahead.
Verse 18. And love is the keeping of her laws.
The what?
And love is the keeping of her laws.
Say it one more time. I think I made it up.
And love is the keeping of her laws.
Right.
And that takes discipline, man. Especially when I say this all the time, when you come out of the world and you acknowledge that you're an Israelite, you feel that you're still an American, right? I'll say a Kent, right? And what that means is that you feel now that it's a certain things that are tied to your nationality.
Mm-hmm.
Now when they say you can't deal with the pork, you can't deal with the swine, no more shaving your beard, right? These things now you feel like it's tearing you up.
That's right.
But you have a new nationality, so it's now you have to come out of those things. It takes discipline to want to do that too. Bring the precept out.
No, go ahead.
Kind. And love, this is verse 18 in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6. And the love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is an assurance of incorruption. And incorruption maketh us near unto the Most High. When you start putting these laws on, man, that's storing up that incorruptible treasures, man. Something that the world cannot destroy. And then the end game, as it says in Revelation, we're trying to get that uncorruptible crown, man. Right? Verse 19. And incorruption maketh us near unto the Most High. Therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to a
It
kingdom.
would.
Therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom.
When you desire wisdom, you're going to, by default, force yourself the wisdom of the word, right? Not the wisdom of the world. You're going to force yourself into a royal priesthood, into a holy nation, right? By default, you will turn into these things. And once you have that understanding, you will then build the kingdom, right? Unknowingly or knowingly, right? You will then build the kingdom because you will have the understanding of how we're supposed to conduct ourselves as kings and priests, right? Next precept is going to be Sirach 18 and 13. Sirach 18 and 13. Start at 13, we're going to read through 14.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 18.
Start at, oh yeah, that's a lot of me right here. Start at, you can do 13 and 14.
Come on, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 18 and verse 13. And it reads, the mercy of man is toward his neighbor,
Right.
but the mercy of the Most High is upon all flesh. He proveth and nurtureth and teacheth and bringeth again.
And does what?
And bringeth again as a shepherd his flock. Verse 14. He hath mercy on them that receive discipline.
That what?
He hath mercy on them that receive discipline.
Right. So in order for me to have mercy on you, I have to know that you understand where I'm coming from. I have to know that you get what I'm saying to you. Can you pick up what I'm putting down?
Can you dig what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what the Most High is basically saying, right?
Right.
Can you follow? Can you be obedient?
Right.
Can you follow the laws? Can you adhere to my ordinances? Right? Can you stand firm in the statutes?
Because like I'll be coming over to it's like this is a side note. I'll be coming over to our house and say, man, this brother is the most commendable guest. You know, because brother see the trash filled up, he will take the trash out. You know, it's just it's nature. But that's the same thing about the kingdom.
Right.
Hey, the Most High say, hey man, you see the trash full, it's time to take it out. Right? And that we dealing with the heathen too. You know,
Right.
it's time for them to go. You know what I'm saying? So that's the understanding that we have is that the Most High saying, if you want to get into my house, hey, I need to know that you're going to treat this like your house. You know, that's real love. That's discipline, right? That was just a little sidebar, man. I just thought that was funny. Verse 14, I'm going to read that again. He hath mercy on them that receive discipline and that diligently seek after his judgment.
That what?
That diligently seek after his judgment.
Hey, we say this too all the time. Like, bro, you got to want it. You got to want this thing, bro. You got to want that understanding. You got to crave. It says in the previous precept, you got to desire the discipline, right? You have to make this a staple, right, in your life, right? Make this the staple, not a staple, right? You got to really, really crave after this thing, right? Next precept is going to be Wisdom of Solomon 1. Start at 3.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 3. And it reads, for forward thoughts separate from the Most High. So if you always, and that's Proverbs 3 and 5, leaning on your own understanding, you're going to figure out what you want to do and you're going to make your own way. You have your own discipline. Hey, a forward thought separates from the Most High.
It does what?
Separates from the Most High. And his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise. So you're going to try the Most High. You're going to try to go your way, have your own discipline, and you're going to get proved, man. You're going to get fired up. Right? Continuing on. For into a malicious soul, wisdom shall not enter.
Right? You always got some type of contention. You got evil eyes towards your brother.
Right?
Right? Something always going wrong. You never happy, bruh. You know, you never disgruntled. When you always disgruntled, you never are in a cheerful spirit. You have no joy. There's no way wisdom can dwell inside of you. It can't. It's impossible. Right? Because you haven't even taken hold to the fruits of the spirit, things that you have to have in order to attain wisdom, right? Go ahead.
Salakia, quick precept.
Go ahead.
This is 1 Corinthians 6 and 19, right? Because and it reads, what? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of the Most High, and ye are not your own.
You are what?
Ye are not your own.
Hey, you are not your own. You know what I'm saying? You can't do what you want to do with your body because it ain't yours. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 20, for ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify the Most High in your body and in your spirit, which are the Most High's. Right? That was just to land me back on that, just to link that up, to bring it full circle. A malicious soul, if you have a malicious soul, you're thinking about your temple, man. And so if you have that inside of you and it's dwelling within you, wisdom cannot enter into that thing.
Absolutely.
And so you have to know that you're holy. You have to know that you've been called to be separate. So that now I'm have to have discipline to keep these things out. Right? Wisdom of Solomon.
5. Now we have 4.
4.
The end of 4.
Kind of we'll read throughout.
6.
6. For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin. For the Holy Spirit of discipline.
Of what?
For the Holy Spirit of discipline.
So it's been called the spirit of understanding, the Holy Spirit of discipline. Right? Go ahead.
The Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit.
Right. Because the spirit is not going to dwell in darkness. There's no way. They like oil and water. It don't mix. Right? When you start going off and moving according to the flesh, the spirit flees. I got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, King.
I mean, even with that, I know we're about to get ready to pull something. Even when wisdom is in you, you ain't gonna be surrounded with people who have that type of spirit, right? The opposite spirit. So you will flee, or you should flee.
And that's discernment. I got a quick precept to link up with that. That's James 4:7. It's a classic. James 4:7. It says, submit yourselves, therefore, to the Most High. You know what a submission is? You know, we used to be in them WWEs, right? In WWF. A submission is actually putting yourself. You got to put yourself in a chokehold. Right. You got to restrain you got to have your own discipline. It says, submit yourselves, therefore, unto the Most High. Then not only that, then you got to resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Right? So all of this is acknowledging that you have to gird up your own loins, and you have to be able to set things up and to be disciplined yourself, right?
Kind of got a precept based on what King just said. We're just saying, when you in the spirit, you want to surround yourself with darkness of brothers or sisters that's not in the spirit, right? This is Psalms 1:1. It says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly,
right?
Nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh. And in his law do he meditate day and night.
If you delight in the law, you can't be around people or want to be around people that's unlawful.
People that despise the law, right? You know what I'm saying? By default, y'all should have some type of disagreements at some point, right? You know what I'm saying?
And which brings me to the point where you're going to start seeing that, man, it's a lot of things now we don't have in common anymore.
Right.
Because you're not dealing with folly. You're not dealing with paganism customs, right? So the Most High spiritually is trying to give you a discernment, discipline to try to break ties with the ways of the world. And unfortunately, it could be loved ones, right? Colleagues, friends, things of that nature. It's gotta be well with your soul. That takes discipline. To know that, hey, the Most High, he ain't dealing with them. I can't deal with them.
Right. That's right.
Pick it back up at verse 5 in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. It says, for the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. For wisdom is a loving spirit, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. Right? Somebody come around talking, scoffing. Hey, wisdom is going, hey, we're going to cut that thing, we're going to cry loud. Right? For wisdom is a loving spirit and will not acquit blasphemers of his words, for Yahweh is witness of his reigns, and a true beholder of his heart, and a hearer of his tongue. Continuing on.
We stop at 6.
That's it on 6. Next precept. Sirach 18, verse 13. Sirach 4.
Sirach 4. Start at 11.
Come on. Sirach chapter 4, verse 11, and it reads, wisdom exalted her children.
She does what?
Wisdom exalted her children,
Right.
and layeth hold of them that seek her. He that loveth her loveth life,
Right.
and they that seek of her early shall be filled
There
with
it is
joy.
again. You seek wisdom early, bro. It will save you from a lot of hard. I tell a young bro all the time, bro, I wish I was in this truth at 18, bro.
Right.
I wish I had this understanding early on. What you 15? I wish I had this understanding at 15. Right? You know what I'm saying?
At 16?
Isaac,
16? 16?
Con, you know what I'm saying? I wish I had this understanding as an adolescent. Right? It'll save me from a lot of heartache during my 20s. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, King.
He that loveth her loveth life, and they that seek her early shall be filled with joy.
That's right.
He that holdeth her fast shall inherit glory.
Shall what?
Shall inherit glory.
Right? It didn't say shall be the glory, because Jake want to be glorified. Right? Jake want to be the man just because he want to be the one, you know, that everybody looks to. It said you shall inherit glory, right? It's something that's given to you, right? From your father. Yes? Go ahead.
And wheresoever she entereth, the Most High will bless.
That's right.
Think of Joseph. You know what I'm saying? And Egypt. He was blessed.
Verse 14. They that serve her shall minister to the Holy One, and them that love her, the Most High doeth love. Whoso giveth ear unto her shall judge the nation.
Shall what?
Shall judge the nation.
Right.
And he that attendeth unto her shall dwell securely. Verse 16. If a man commit himself unto her, again, discipline,
wisdom,
right? He shall inherit her.
That's right.
And his generations.
No, just him.
And his generations.
No, just him and his family.
His generations,
right,
shall hold her in possession.
Hey, we don't understand how imperative it is for us to seek salvation for our seed line, right? Just like the same way they planted that lie of Christianity in our generations, and it carried out through generations. We can uproot that lie, plant this seed of righteousness, and y'all willing, it'll carry out through our generations as well. Hopefully forever and even forever. Right? Go ahead.
I got a quick precept on that.
Bring it out, King.
Dealing with the seed line, dealing with the inheritance, dealing with understanding that we are doing this because the Most High has required this, but it's bigger than us. Yes?
Right.
Right. This is Sirach 33 and 17. Consider that I labored not for myself only.
Classic precept, one of my favorites.
Consider that I labor not for myself only.
Not what?
I labor not for myself only.
It ain't just for me. It's not just about me. I'm not trying to gain all this understanding so I can be the master teacher. Hey man, Yahweh Shai is the master teacher. Go ahead.
But for all them that seek learning.
All them that what?
That seek learning.
Right. Like the brother was just bringing out. We have the only ability we have to do here is learn and teach, right? So as you soak up game and able to take in an understanding of the doctrine, you then it's your responsibility and duty to show that to your brothers, your loved one. It's mandatory, right? It's not even up for discussion.
Because you know what, it tastes good to you, man. You know it's a good thing. Being that they family and loved ones, you want it for them, man.
What you say?
It's only right.
It do what?
It tastes good.
It do what?
It tastes good.
This is Sirach. Salaki, this is Psalms 119. Again, jumping back, verse 103. How sweet are thy words unto my taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth.
Right. So this scripture, this word, man, is understanding, coming into our true nationality, coming back into the Father. Hey, man, it tastes real good. Don't nothing taste better. Right,
Salaki. This is This is Revelation chapter 10, starting at verse 9. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up.
Right.
And it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey.
Right. And that takes discipline too, knowing that you got to eat this thing. It's gonna be bitter, when it go when it sits on your stomach, but it's gonna be sweet when it goes in.
Kind of like just when you come into the truth of understanding,
Right.
it tastes good. You feel good. You ready to tell everybody,
Right.
right? But as you continue to tell people and they not receiving it, you see how Jake really lost, how oppressed we really are. Hey man, I hate it here.
And it's also,
Ecclesiastes 7:7, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
and it's also going, that sweetness is coming in. It's good at the initial. Right? Like the Most High said, He winked at your ignorance.
Right.
But now, taste this thing.
It, right?
You got to start walking a certain way.
Because you know what's
Right.
required of you.
Right.
And Deuteronomy, what is that, 10 and 12?
Right.
You know what's required of you, right? And you understand what's required of you. You understand it's more responsibility, right? And it's not even just so much of, it is still on you, but when you know and have a responsibility, you can't even allow people around you to not be in the spirit, right? Because if they choose that, that's what they choose, but you at least got to say something. You got to get the blood off your hands. Hey, bro, we ain't really supposed to eat pork. You know what I'm saying? Say, fam, today is the Sabbath. You really shouldn't be buying. Hey, bro, your face naked. You might want to grow a beard. You know what I'm saying? These are things you have to say, and it puts you in a position to have to lift up your voice like a trumpet. Yes? Finishing us out, verse 10. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up.
Right.
And it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings.
Good precept, Bob. Revelations 10 and
9 through 11.
Jumping back into the book of Sirach, chapter 4. This is Sirach, chapter 4, picking back up at verse 17. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws. This is Most High say, I'm gonna walk with you through this valley, man. I'm gonna give you this understanding, but it's gonna be some point where I'm gonna need you to kind of take the reins of this thing.
That's right.
And trust the Spirit, because I done led you through the fire. Verse 18. Then will she return the straight way unto him, and comfort him and shew him her secrets.
I ain't gonna leave you too long. I'll be right back.
Come. Verse 19. But if he go wrong, if he go wrong,
right,
she will forsake him.
She will what?
Forsake him.
Hey, if you go wrong, just like we said, wisdom can't dwell with darkness. If you go wrong, she got to back out. You start going back into the world, okay, now you're on your own, right? You got to accept whatever the flesh gives you or wherever it leads you, right? Go ahead.
But if he go wrong, she will forsake him and give him over to his own ruin. Okay. Next precept, Sirach 6.
That was 20.
Come.
Salaki.
Verse 20.
19.
19. Okay. Next precept is going to be in the same book, Sirach chapter 6. Sirach chapter 6 and verse
20. Chapter 20.
Come.
18 through 32.
Come, 18 to 30. You can bring that up. Sirach chapter 6, 18 through 32.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 18. It reads, my son, gather instruction.
My what?
My son, gather instruction.
So you got to think about the love of a father, man. If you're a father, man, that's the main thing you want for your son, is to have discipline, right? Is to know what you can and cannot do in this society. Go ahead.
My son, gather instruction from thy youth. So shall thou find wisdom to thine old age.
Right. So if you seeking this thing when you're young, man, you done stored up that thing. Right. So now when you get old, man, you just handed it out, man. You're an elder yourself.
Right.
Go ahead,
Verse 19. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits.
Right. So if you coming unto her as one that plowed and sowed, that means you ready to work.
Right.
That means that you coming in here and you ready to get down with this thing, right? Takes discipline, right? Because you dread waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning and having to get ready and things of that nature, going into the field. We some city boys, man. We don't know nothing about no farm agriculture life. I'm just speaking for myself, that is, right? But we gotta even in these, get close to these end times, but we gotta have some of this discipline. to go out and seek. That's wisdom.
Some of that understanding and wisdom.
Right.
Right.
Let's speak on the earthly level. We got to seek out the some of that wisdom, so that we can get out here when these end times come. We know how to till the ground. We know what soil is good and how to till the ground. Go ahead, Al.
For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruit right soon.
Right.
She is very unpleasant to the unlearned.
Read that again.
She is very unpleasant to the unlearned.
Man, it's truth. When you handed it out, it's unpleasant to the people who don't have an understanding, right? Because it's cutting them, man, just like it cut us. Go ahead.
He that is without understanding will not remain with her.
I got to get out of here. What does the scripture say? The wicked flee when no man pursues. Hey, it's time for that. And with that,
bringing out that Bible again. I got to go and get up out of here. That's my cue.
Go ahead.
Verse 21. She relied on him as a mighty stone of trial.
Man, trial, right? So it's like you being pressed down, right? And it's truth, man. It's just, and it's heavy, man. It's real heavy. Go ahead, Ash.
And he would cast her from her ear.
From him, ear.
It be long.
Right. So if it's taking too long, man, and this truth just keep bogging down, man, I can't deal with this thing. He gonna cast that thing off. It's too much to the unlearned.
And that goes to show like some of our elders, like they don't want to receive the truth, bro. It's hard for them to receive it. For you to be right, that means I've been wrong for 40 years. And they take it personal, right? Like, I've been off this long. Nah, bro, this can't be right. You got to be missing something.
But they're off in our eyes. They was really on. So what you really saying is that you challenging their discipline. That they held fast to for so long. You might have been tied down to. You might have been fervent going to the Sunday class and you there 7 days of the week in church. Right, that takes discipline, yes, but you put the discipline into the wrong thing.
Right. I'm challenging your teacher.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who did you learn this discipline from? Right? Because you can be disciplined in the wrong things.
That's right.
I know a lot of brothers from where I'm from that are disciplined in what they do, but they're not doing the right things.
That's right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Picking up at verse 21, 22. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto men. Give ear, my son, receive my advice.
So like, yeah, and we got to understand too, it says she's not going to show herself to me. So a lot of times when we prophesy to a brother, we really want him to get it, we want it to stick, we don't plant the seed. Hey, she don't want everybody.
You got to be long suffering if somebody is receiving. But it says if it's not received, shake off the dust of your feet, right? And keep it moving. Some people just not going to get it. Right,
and we got to be disciplined. It's twofold, right? We got to be disciplined enough to be like, man, even though we want it for them, but it's out of our hands.
You don't plant the seed, though. It could be the Most High will. It may be watered somewhere else, right? Go ahead with that.
Verse 23. Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel, and put thy feet into her fetters. And thy neck into her chain.
Hey man, the Most High saying, hey, put your feet unto the fetters of wisdom, right? Let her be a chain. If you're gonna be a slave to something, be a slave to wisdom. Go ahead, King.
Verse 25. Lie down thy shoulder and bear her, and be not grieved with her bond.
Right.
Come unto her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power. Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee. And when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go.
Right. You got to treat this thing like a wife. Like this should be your first love, your first wife, right? What does it say in Revelations 2? I want to say in 5. You got to return back to the first works. You have left your first love. This wisdom should be your first love, bro. Your first love and understanding.
Verse 28. For at the last thou shalt find her rest, and thou shalt return to thy joy.
That's right.
Then shall her fetters be a strong defense.
A what?
A strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory.
This thing done changed into a robe of righteousness, right? Her fetters then became your strength, right? You know what I'm saying? The same chains of wisdom that was bound to you was hard, them laborious days. I've been in the word all day. I've been trying to build myself up, and them long nights you stayed up. Now you got it and received it in the spirit within you, bro. You spewing precepts left and right. It's easy. It says wisdom causes a man's face to shine. The countenance is on you, right? The spirit is upon you, right? What's that? The spirit of the Lord is upon me. There, Isaiah 61. Go ahead.
Verse 30. For there is a golden ornament upon her. Ornament upon her.
Right.
And her hinges are purple lace.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt put her on as a robe of honor. And shalt put her about thee as a crown of joy. Verse 32. My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught, and if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent.
Hallelujah.
You gotta want to be taught, man. It's the last precept, Akim. The water for y'all is been tapping in, on the via the live stream, the water to the Akim that's here in the spirit and in the flesh. Yes, we're gonna be in the book of Job.
Shalom, brother Karash. I can't see who all tapped in, but Shalom, Akim.
Shalom. This is the book of Job, chapter 36. Dealing with discipline, holy discipline, man. Understanding that you gotta want it, and you gotta grab hold of that thing, and you gotta get into that thing until the ground. And it's best to get into it now in your youth, right? So you can have that wisdom. This is Job 36.
Job chapter 36.
Verse 8.
Bring it out. This is Job 36, verse 8. And it reads, and if they be bound in fetters, there it is again, and be holden in cords of affliction, then he sheweth them their works and their transgressions, that they have exceeded. He opened it also their ear to discipline.
To what?
To discipline.
Right.
And commanded that they return from iniquity. Right? Verse 11. If they... I got a quick precept. Would you...
What's your name?
Job 14 and 11. I'm there. I got it. That's not what I want. 11 and 14. Come on, 11 and 14. You got that out?
Come on, I bring it out. This is Job chapter 11, verse 14.
Let me read this again real quick. This is Job 36 and verse 10. We linking it up with Job 36 and 10 with Job 11 and 14. And it reads, he opened it also their ear to discipline.
He what?
He opened it also his ear to discipline, and commanded that they return from iniquity. Go ahead and bring that up.
This is book of Job chapter 11, verse 14. If iniquity be in thy hand,
right,
put it far away.
Right, that's discipline, man. He's saying you got that iniquity, man. It's up to you to cast that thing off. If you found it in your hand, you got to throw that thing away.
And let not wickedness dwell in thy tabernacle.
Back in Job, picking up at verse 11, Job 36 and 11, reading through 12. Job 36 and 11. If they obey and serve him, they shall spend their days in prosperity, and their years in pleasure.
That's that Joshua 1 and 8.
Come, you start seeking the Lord. Hey, when it's time to get that crown, man, it's gonna be a pleasurous thing, man. For all the years you done put in,
that's right.
For all the seeds that you done planted through the Spirit, man, the Most High is gonna be pleased with that thing. Verse 12. But if they obey not, they shall perish by the sword, and they shall die without knowledge. That's right. Right. So it's a sad thing to know, man. Like, man, our loved ones, and when we see them, those who who have lost loved ones, and know that they just partook in folly, man. They didn't have any knowledge. It's gonna be a sad day. We just pray the Most High have mercy on their soul. Right. This is just about having holy discipline, man. Even Isaiah 34 and 16, real quick, in closing. Right, because another part of that discipline is in the contents of your home, right? When you feeling that you're not really just not in the spirit,
I got it.
Go ahead.
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
Seek what?
Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read.
Right. So you got to come into this thing, man. You got to have discipline to really get into these scriptures, man. To really dig down deep, to put your foot in the feathers, man, and start reading and seeking these things out for yourself. Right.
Right. No one of these, Salakia, no one of these shall fail.
Right. So this is not going to fail. It's nothing that you can hold up against this. Nothing that can stand. There is no mate to it.
None shall want her mate.
None shall want her mate. Right. That's it on that, Doc?
For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
Right. So it's a commandment. So that's another thing just to leave y'all with, understanding that it's commanded of us to read. Right. And with that, you got to have discipline to be able to, come out of the world, unplug out of the world, right, and get into the word, But with that, hey, this is Brother Nasi,
Brother Shamariah.
Brother Tazi.
This is this will be a 2-part breakdown. It's the first part of holy discipline. Barakatah to all the Akim, Kodashium that tapped in the class. Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Double honors to the elders of the house of David that have been putting in this work for generations. Until next time, Shabbat Shalom.
Kwame Ashala.
Kwame Nasrallah. Yeah,
Talk about tabs.